my name is Jeba, and I am the founder of Beast Mode Media and BTS Brunch Club. Being from an Asian background, jobs like this are not seen as jobs. They're just seen like, oh God, here she goes again with something else. I've gone and done something else. They don't take it serious. But now, I think because of where I am now in my career, my family are very much like, oh, she actually has done it.
Feeling underrepresented or boxed in by others' expectations? In this episode, we dive deep into the bold and unapologetic journey of Jeba Nessa, a creative director who didn't wait for permission to be seen. She flipped cultural doubt into creative fuel, not just building her own platforms, but forging spaces where others could thrive. We uncover what it really takes to go from being overlooked to building your own table. That makes space for people who look and sound like you. Her path wasn't lined with easy wins, it was carved out through unpaid gigs and the raw courage to walk away from anything that didn't align with her values. Join us as Jeba opens up about launching her business. We talk about pushing past fear, challenging the idea that content isn't a real job, and she explains why representation isn't optional, it's essential.
BTS Brunch Club has been running for it's the third month now. It's something kind of happened because of Beast Mode Media, and I was filming at these events, and majority of them were like brand community events. And the first one I ever did, there was a gap. I needed content for my own page. I was filming for this brand, but in order for my business to grow and for people to know about me, I also need content of my own. But there's something missing here. There needs to be a community where people can work together and collaborate with each other without having like a big budget, because when you're new, you don't have a big budget. You've literally got nothing. So you need people on the same journey at the same level so that you can both work together, or a few of you work together in order to kind of help each other as you're starting out and going on that journey.
That sounds really interesting. I think it's going to be really exciting. It'll be interesting to see which direction you take it. There's a question that I ask my guests in the beginning. When you hear the following: bold voices, messy journeys, zero apologies, what part of your story immediately springs to mind when you hear that?
So messy journey, I'm still on a messy journey. I feel like the whole journey is going to be messy because the work is around communities, it's around social media. Things are forever changing. So you have to adapt to it. So your journey is always going to be quite messy. You think you're getting into something and then something changes. I don't know, something on Instagram or TikTok, or the algorithm changes and you're like, oh, I don't need that content anymore. I need a different type of content, or I need to start doing something differently. You have to keep up with to keep yourself relevant. It's a lot. So the journey is forever messy because you're constantly growing and in from that as well. It is good as much as it can be annoying sometimes, because you've probably created some content and then they're like, actually, no, we don't like that kind of content. You need to film something else.
It's forever a roller coaster ride, and social media, it's ups and downs, and you think, am I relevant? If I'm not relevant, cancel culture. It's just, yeah, it's a lot. Sometimes it's just like, it's a double-edged sword, really. You think, I need to do it. It's a big learning curve, and you have to, like, as a creative, you have to constantly adjust, but at the same time, be true to yourself. Because I was curious, actually. Is it The Beast? What's the origin story behind the title of Beast and Beast Mode?
I'm a very straightforward talking person, like super honest, sometimes probably quite savage sometimes, but it comes from a good place. Honesty is super important. And if you've got something to say, you need to say it. And I always think as well, if you don't ask, you'll never get. So your work ethic has to be that beast mode. You have to go and get it because nobody's giving it to you. And if you sit in the background, nobody's looking at you. Nobody's looking for you. You need to make sure you are at the front and you are the best at what you do. it takes a long time to get there, but you have to be brutal, you have to be savage, you have to want it so bad. And is where the beast mode name comes from. It's a it's a mindset. You have to be that beast mode mindset, otherwise you won't get anywhere, especially in social media and content creation. It's such a saturated place that you have to make yourself stand out, and you have to put yourself in places where you're going to be seen and heard. Otherwise, you'll just fall behind. You won't. Nobody will know about you. You have to make people know about you.
Yeah, I understand that because if you're introverts or you've got to try and find a way to get out there, and how do you do that? And that's probably one of the reasons why I started this podcast, to be more visible, and especially people of color or, underrepresented creatives, they have to have a voice. And I think it sounds like that's what you're doing with the Beast Mode, because you definitely sound like you've got a good community going from what I've seen.
Yeah, and that is down to networking. I'm generally quite a shy person. Like I won't talk to people until they talk to me first. I am quite shy until I get to know people, and I needed to come out of that mindset. So I started going to networking events, and you go on your own because your friends don't do the same job as you and they're not interested in doing that kind of stuff. So you're just like, oh gosh, you really have to come out of your comfort zone. And been to one, you're like, oh, I've done it. Like that wasn't too bad. It's okay. And then the more you do it, the better you just become at it, and it becomes a natural thing. Like I'm not saying I'm never nervous going. I'm always nervous going to any event. But once you're there, because you have done it before, you just feel, okay, I've done it. Once you're in the door, you're in the door. That's it. There's no going back then. So yeah, it takes time, but I think it is super important for people to network with others, and you just never know who you meet. And these networking events have massively given me opportunities that I would never have come across sat in my own home or going, to places that weren't for me.
I think there was probably a time when creatives, including myself, where you wait for that opportunity to come to you and not go out to seek it. And I can see that networking events is probably one of the things that is the one way, like you said, to get out and speak to complete strangers, even though you might feel petrified or nervous. Like I think a few months ago, I did public speaking. Well, what did I do? I headbutted the mic, tripped over my words. Yeah, that went down well, but nobody really noticed. They just laughed it off. But you have to put yourself out there at the end of the day. But I get it. It's nerve wracking, but like you say, practice makes perfect, and you'll get there
Yeah,
in the end.
exactly. There's a quote that I always remember when in situations like that. That is, nobody's looking at you as much as you are looking at yourself. Nobody cares, and same thing goes for like social media. If people are scared of posting things, people are seeing so much, and they're so bothered about themselves that they're really not that bothered about you. Only you bother so much about what you look like, what you sound like. They do not care. They don't.
It's another reason for this podcast is just to say it's unapologetic. To be bold, to speak your voice, and don't worry about what people think. But I remember you were mentioning one of your social media posts about, was it World Backup Day? You back up data and make sure that you don't lose your files. And as a creator, you help others protect their work. Can you share a time when someone backed you up as a creative and how they supported you or impacted you?
Oh, so I think in the early days, as a creative, especially in content creation, you do have to do some free work. Like, because you're new, nobody knows, what your style is like, what, nobody knows about you really. You're still up and coming. At the beginning, you really have to do, some free work. Don't expect to be paid all the time. So, my career as a content creator started with UGC. So that's basically where brands will send you products and you make content for them. Sometimes you can be in it, or sometimes it can be just product based. At the beginning, I used to accept like free items as payment, but as you know, products do not pay your bills. And at the end of the day, we all have bills to pay. That's why we work anyway. Yeah, I was accepting free products as a payment, but you've got to do that at the beginning. And I think, working with brands, the more you work with them, you do the free time for a little while, but then you've got to have them conversations of, my experience is, I'm more in demand, I've got more experience, I've got more followers, your engagement is good. You have to have that conversation. So at the beginning, I would say, a lot of brands help me just by giving me free products, and believing in me and yeah, we will give you this. We're not paying you, but we will give you this in order for you to make some content, which is great for my portfolio as well as providing content for them. So I would say a lot of brands help me. They probably don't know that they help me, and it probably doesn't feel like they help, but just giving me that opportunity to create for them is what set me up to be where I am now, where I do get paid for content. It's taken me there. So yeah, I would say it was brands at the beginning that believed in my zero follow, zero engagement, zero experience. They're the ones who really helped me.
Yeah. I think they probably saw your beast mode kind of mentality and went, she's interesting. I think she's got something that we could work and collaborate with. So definitely seems to be working. You also got a brunch club. Is there anything else that you're doing that's on
Yeah,
top of everything else?
BTS. Yeah, BTS Brunch Club is 3 months old now, but Beast Mode Media, we're coming up to like 2.5 years. I did a lot of content creation, like for UGC. So yeah, I've got in total, I'd say around 6 years experience in content creation. The BTS Brunch Club came about a few months back. It's an idea I have had for a long time from beginning my brand and events content creation journey. And from that very first event that I went to, I was like, there's a gap here. There's something that needs to be done about create new up and coming creatives working together where there's not really money involved because nobody's got money to spare to pay someone to film for. So yeah, so the BTS Brunch Club came about 3 months ago, and they're monthly brunch clubs for creatives or anyone who's looking for a creative to work for them or with them. You could be a brand owner, looking for someone to film at one of your events or film some of your products for your social media. You can just come and meet people, get to know each other, see if you can work together and go off and create something amazing. Yeah, it's going really well. And we have some bigger events coming up soon to showcase talent and some events to help creatives with the wellness side of it, to manage. A lot of kids have a full-time job, so they do this on the
Mm.
side while they're still getting known and getting experience. How do you manage that? How do you manage your time? How do you manage your well-being, your mental health, all that kind of stuff? So we have got some bigger events coming up to help creatives on their journey.
It's great because I know with some communities, they can just do only so much. You're kind of going a bit further by not just saying, okay, we're here to come together, but you're also kind of helping with their mental health as well. Or even if you're not doing that directly, you're supporting them in whatever they are doing. And that sounds something that creatives need and people who are coming together. Even you don't have to be a creative to join, but I think feeling that part of unity sounds like it seems like there's a lot of people need to do that more. You're doing a lot of work that way. And so, how's the community supporting each other? Is it something that you want to take further or develop beyond the brunch club?
Yeah, I think so. I think the brunch clubs are great. People have a good time, enjoy some good food. It's more of a social thing and a networking thing. But I think going forward, I do the reason I wanted to help other creatives is because I know what that feels like as a creative career and path has come quite late in life. Like I'm 41 and I only started about 6 years ago, whereas most creators tend to be like in their 20s, teenage, quite young. And for me, I struggled with a lot of things. There isn't that support for new people. Everybody wants to work with someone who's already established, not want to work with someone who's up and coming. It's very lucky if a brand says, actually, we see something in you. You might be new, but we would like to encourage you and work with you. So for me, I'm basically passing on the things that I've learned in my journey. I think I've come to a point now where I'm in a good space, doing well, all that kind of stuff. And I've overcome the barriers that I had along the way. You're overwhelmed, managing a full-time job as well as doing this on the side. Make sure you don't get burnt out, make sure you're actually, because I've learned all that and I've worked my way through it. I think it's important to pass that on to new creatives to say, look, like I've done the struggle, like I don't want you to struggle. I want to help you and do it the best way you can and look after yourself. It's tough and you have to be very resilient and you have to have that mindset. So if I can help people along their journey, the help that I didn't really get or I didn't know where to look for it, I want to be that person who's able to help them as an older person and as a person of color as well. Different ball game for us, I think.
That sounds really good because, like you said, as older creatives, including myself in this, I've seen so many different communities, and over the years, it was a lot harder, definitely for us and who looks like us. And I
Yeah.
was about to ask you, how has your identity and your culture created and help you shape the way you show up in your work?
I think so. Being from an Asian background, jobs like this are not seen as jobs. They're just seen like, oh God, here she goes again with something else. They don't take it serious. But now I think because of where I am now in my career, my family are very much like, oh, she actually has done it. She's done this hobby we thought was a joke and, she's actually gone and done it. So now it's serious. But I don't know if it's the same for you, but all they ever want you to be is a doctor or a lawyer. That they think they're the only jobs that you can ever do to be successful and to make good money and things like that. But no, there's a whole world. Like creatives can make so much more than a doctor and a lawyer can. Like they're capped at what they can make, but creatives, the work that they can do and the lifestyle that they can have can go way beyond anything a doctor could make. You know what I mean? It just seems to be a thing that is massive and is just forever growing.
Yeah, I think even the so-called non-creative jobs like doctors, lawyers, they are creative in their own way. Your family means well and they want the best for you. But if you can't follow your heart and if it's being a creative and doing the beast mode that is naturally inside of you, why not just look, you've done it for many years. You've done all the 9 to 5 jobs. I'm sure you've learned a lot from them. But I think you you're in the part of your life where you just need to focus on yourself. The more you focus on yourself, you're not being selfish. You're going to give the 100% best of you that you know you truly are. And it sounds like you're doing that. And I can see even in the short period of time you've been working in your business, it looks like it's slowly but surely going to be a successful one.
Sound is actually wild. Like I studied forensic science at university, all because my teachers from secondary school, from college, and my family were like, "Oh, science is the way to go. That's going to be such a good job." And I did it, and I enjoyed it. I had the best time, and I worked in the NHS. I still work in the NHS part time. So, like it was just something that kind of it wasn't what I wanted. I always knew it wasn't what I wanted because when I was at secondary school, lucky for me, I was academic, but I was also very creative. I have 2 GCSEs in art. I took one early because I had that creativeness inside me. But then as I got older, going to college and you have to make them decisions of what you want to do. And I was just kind of, I wouldn't say forced, but encouraged to go more towards the science route. And I did all that and got a job in the NHS, all that kind of stuff. But then in later life, when you actually know yourself a little bit better and you've got the thing inside you, like to say, look, you need to do what you want to do. Like you've got the courage to do that. And that's where the whole creative side came from. And that's why I'm where I'm at now. Like it's taken that long, but you know what? In a way, I'm kind of glad because you know yourself so much better. You know exactly what you want. And in a short period of time, I've been able to get what I want because I knew who I was. And I think that's probably the most important part for you to figure out.
Only you can live your life, and that's definitely the case. Obviously, with all of this going on, and you've got a business, and you look into the future, and you're starting an exciting career. Is there any like habits or tools when you want to reset and make sure that you're looking after yourself, before you go to that burnout place? Is there anything that you do to get back to yourself when when everything gets crazy?
I always have one day a month that is for me. Whether that's just to sit at home and watch TV all day long and, just not work, not see anyone. And I've done this for quite a few years actually. There's one day in a month that I will do whatever I want to do, whether that be stay at home or go out or go to the cinema, but I'm on my own. Like, just need that time on my own. And I really enjoy my own company. It's funny. People are like, you actually do love your own company. I'm like, yeah, I do. I can go on holiday on my own. I have no qualms about doing anything on my own. So yeah, I think for me, in order to just sit back and not completely burn out is have one of them days, watch trashy TV, watch a film, or just go out and do something that's not work related. You don't have to socialize. You don't have to talk to people. It's just you. And if you want to spend the day in silence all day, you can. That is something. Ideally, weekly is better, but I know life is life. Once a month at least, just try and do that or take yourself out somewhere. And if you can go on holiday, take yourself away from everything and have a full break of at least days where you're not working, you're not worrying about work, thinking about work, just try and switch off. I'm quite good really. I don't think I've ever suffered burnout, but I don't know if that's because I just keep going and I never actually stop. I've never really, I don't think I've suffered it anyway, but I may have people that just keeps going and can keep going. But I know it's not the same for everybody. My advice would definitely be if you need to take a break, take that break. Everything will still be there when you come back, whether it's a week, a day, hours, it'll still be there. People can wait.
Exactly, and like you say, they probably go, "Were you away for a week?" "Oh, I didn't know." And because people are so busy, and they haven't, life's busy, especially on social media, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, nothing's changed. It's still the same.
Yeah, exactly. And if people are looking for you, I think it's probably also a good idea to put on your socials or let them know in advance, holiday from this date to this date. There'll be no calls will get responded to when I come back. Like, just make it clear, then people aren't, hounding you. They know. And yeah, you get the odd person, they'll try and call you, they'll try and send you an email. Just don't respond because you've told them. So nobody can be angry about that.
Exactly. Yes, you mentioned about that it can be a lot of BS in that world, and there's lots of people cancelling everybody. And so, what kind of advice would you give a creative who's trying to juggle, trying to be given so much of themselves in social media, but at the same time be true to themselves and try and please their target audience? There's so much going on. How do you balance all of that, especially on social media?
Yeah, I think it takes a long time to get there because you think you have to make content for everyone and you really don't. The one thing I would always say is be true to yourself, to your morals, to your ethics, to your beliefs. Like, really just be authentic, and your followers and your clients will naturally come to you because you are who you say you are. You can't please everyone. You never will. In real life, social media, you just never will. People will like you or they won't like you. But as long as you are you, the right people will come in terms of clients, everything like that. Everything, you will attract the right people. And I truly believe that because pretending to, be a certain person or live a certain life, or, trying to impress certain people in order to be able to work with them or get to know them, it's just never going to work. It may work for a little period of time, but then eventually the truth comes out. Like, how can you keep that up? Because it's not you. You're playing a part to different people. So you'll be one person to one person, you'll be another person to another person. Like, it's just not sustainable. And if anything is going to give you stress, it's that, because you're pretending to be someone else. I think I probably don't feel overwhelmed and stress and anxiety so much because I am who I am. And if you like me, you like me. If you don't, then I'm really not bothered. Like, I'm really not bothered. I'm not here for entertainment, to entertain other people. I'm just here to do what I need to be doing and who I am. And I think when I did UGC work, I still do UGC work now, but I think at the beginning, brands would approach you and say, oh, can you promote this? Can you, make time for this? And for a short period of time, I did do it. I was accepting anything just to try and get that work. But then I thought to myself, no, you can't do this. You can't start using things that don't suit you. It's not for you just to make content or just to get brands to, like you and work with you. Things have got to fit into your life. So now I only work with brands that I genuinely have tried for a period of time first to see if I actually like it. The product, is good for me, is something that I would use in my day-to-day life anyway. The brands, their ethics, their morals, how they stand, do they align with mine? If they don't, then I won't work with them. And I think it's really important for people to be confident enough to say no and really be you and just work with brands and clients really, are for you. They mirror like your ethics and the way that you want to be, how you want to be known. You've got to remember, like, this, if you're especially a content creator, you are out there for life. You're going to put one thing out and that is there for life. You can't take that away. So you've got to remember, like, that's your legacy. Like, what do you want to put out there, and are you happy with what you're putting out there? That's super important to remember.
Yeah, like you were saying, it's a case of trying to be true to yourself. I think the stronger you are, and I think that they will respect you more if you stand to your morals and stick to your guns regards to who you believe in. Because, and to be honest, you don't want to appeal to everybody. Like you say, if I'm not for you, like you said, there's the door. Way of dumbing yourself down or buying products or testing products that you don't believe in. When you're a creative, you've got a messy drawer. So this is called studio drawer. It's a play on words, draw creativity. There's always something you don't want to hide in the background when you're working creatively. So what's the most ridiculous thing in your studio or workplace right now? And why is it there?
Is this okay? I'm going to be truly honest. Right now, in my living room where I'm sat now, there is a suitcase on the floor of the living room, open. Half my holiday things are out. Some of it has been washed, the laundry, but some bits are still in the suitcase, and the suitcase is just sat in my living room. Yeah, that is the most ridiculous thing that's there.
How long have you been back? A few days?
3 days. 3 days. No, it's the fourth day today. And yeah, it's still there. This is what life is like behind the scenes. It's
No one's
chaotic.
judging you. We've all done it.
No, it's chaotic. I've been so busy since I've been back that I've only managed to do the laundry, the holiday laundry. But some of the things, the equipment, like, I take little bits of equipment with me, but like toiletries and things like that, they just sat there because I've not had time to put them away. It is what it is.
Well, I think I was watching something on the other day and on YouTube, and there are services that you can hire someone to do it, and they come over, wash your clothes, and return it to you the next day. So
Yeah, you can.
this is not sponsored, by the way.
No, I actually have a cleaner, and she came on Tuesday before I landed on Saturday. So she has a key, so she lets herself in, and she always says, like, what do you want me to do, and things like that. So she does everything before I come back. So it's all nice and tidy when I come back. But the minute I walked in, opened the case, everything's everywhere. And I could quite easily ask her to come and help me. But I just think, no, Jeba, don't be lazy. Like, do these things yourself. Like, you can't rely on other people completely. There's certain things you've got to do for yourself. And my mum, she already hates the fact that I have a cleaner and, I don't cook. I get meal prep delivered. She's like, Jeba, you don't do anything for yourself. But I do. But I'm also very busy. Like, you don't understand how busy I am. But I do try. I think things like that keep you humble, don't they? Got to do things for yourself, and you need to keep yourself humble, because otherwise you can quite easily go off the rails. But no, I try and do a lot of things myself as well. I know I don't have the time, but I really have to make the time to do stuff, everyday normal stuff. Spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, do your domestic duties that you have to do at home. Maybe not all of it, but you do little bits to just keep yourself on the ground.
What is something in your desk that you create with that you can't do without?
What can't I do without? I would say my tripod, I can't do without, and my iPad. Yeah, they're the two things. Yeah.
What is the weirdest source of inspiration that you've ever used in a project?
Weirdest. I think with the work that I do, it's quite, I wouldn't say rigid, but I know what to expect all the time. And it's quite a set format, if you will, when it comes to filming, whether that's UGC or filming for events and brands. They all have a very similar format. I'm also given like shot lists and things like that. So it's quite standard in a way. So yeah, there's one thing that I did see on, I think it was on TikTok or Instagram, of how to hold your phone to do a point of view piece of content. So it was basically, you have your mobile phone, you say you've got a t-shirt on, you have your mobile phone, you take it out of its cover, then you clip the cover back on, but with the t-shirt sandwiched in between the phone and the cover, so that the phone will sit on your chest, and then you can film, but then use both your hands. So you've not got a tripod, you're not using your hands, it's just attached to you. And then you can do your content. I do remember doing a UGC piece like that. So yeah, that's probably quite a strange thing to do. But I took inspiration from someone else that had posted that that's what they were doing. I thought, actually, that's not a bad idea, because I don't have a brace thing to hold my phone. So I'll just clip it to my t-shirt. Yeah, it worked out quite well.
People who are listening to this, what do you hope people feel or remember after engaging with you when they work with you?
I think I would like people to remember me as quite inspirational. Not like in like an egotistical way, but in the fact that you can actually do anything. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what kind of background you come from. You can actually do anything if you put your mind to it, and you get yourself in that mode of, this is what I want to do. You can do it. Like, if I can do it, I feel like anyone can do it. I'm just a regular person who was able to, set my mind onto something, and something that was always in me, but I was always steered kind of away from by other people. But, 40 years on, I've come back and decided, this is what I want to do. I'm confident enough now as an adult, when you know yourself better, that you can do it. And I want younger people to be like, you know what? She can do it. I can do it. Whether I do it now or maybe I can do it in 10 years' time, I can do it because she can do it. I am just a normal person that was able to do it. So yeah, that's what I would like people to remember me by.
If anybody who wants to reach out to you, how would they do that? Via your social channels, and how will they best support you in your business?
My Instagram handle is beast.mode.media. So you can give me a follow on there. All my contacts are on there as well. So like my email address, my website, and my telephone number. So if you are looking for a UGC creator, or you want some advice on how to become a creator, or you're a brand, or you're holding an event and you want someone to come and film for your socials, so it takes that pressure off you. That's where you can find me and contact me, and yeah, I would get back to you.
Thank you very much, Jeba.
Heather, it's been lovely speaking to you.
Jeba's journey took us from navigating cultural and family expectations to stepping up as a cultural leader, amplifying underrepresented voices. What stood out most was being underrepresented in the industry while still building authentic, inclusive spaces on her own terms. Like so many of us, she faced cultural pressure, undervalued work, and the exhaustion of always proving herself. But instead of giving in, she drew a line, saying no to what didn't align, using her cultural identity as fuel, and building networks like BTS Brunch Club that opened doors for others. The result wasn't instant success, it was something more powerful. Rejection turned into redirection, invisibility into impact. Persistence and authenticity are what makes Jeba's story relatable. As you leave this episode, ask yourself, where are you undervaluing your own voice? What boundary could you set this week to protect your creative energy? Thanks for listening. If this episode changed or inspired you, hit subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear it, because bold voices and messy journeys deserve zero apologies.